hickory, maple, poplar, mahogany, pine, cedar, and balsa. That took 4 shots to get right. Those are the woods that we will be using to make 7 different crankbaits. And we're gonna see what the differences are with wood. The exact same crankbait, by the way. Very standard bodied crankbait with a 45-degree angled lip. All the lips will be the same. Everything will be the same, just like in the last testing video. I am isolating variables and only changing one. Science. The baits have not already been made, but just give me 1 sec here. Kablooey! They're done. I think from softest to densest, we got balsa, cedar, pine, mahogany, poplar, maple, hickory. And I kind of weighed it, and I spent a long time trying to figure out if that poplar is more dense than that mahogany, but I think that mahogany is a little lighter. I think certain species of mahogany can be denser than poplar, but not in this case. We're gonna go to the creek today. The creek's low, and it's clear, and it's nice, and I think at the creek I'll be able to get some better action footage with this camera on the tripod facing down. We're gonna do better this episode. Last episode I didn't do very good on getting action shots, and it's kind of the point of the video, you know. I attempted to do like a little blood line down the side of each of these. I left the paint at the nose wet while I did the clear coat so it would smudge and drip. There's the balsa. Worked out pretty good. That looks pretty sweet, right? To the creek. The creek. We are here. Water's clear. I don't see any deer. Let's quit being a... It's YouTube. I'm a little jokester today, aren't I? Okay, let's go. Let's go test these baits. I need to find a good spot where the water's calmer and it's not so loud. A little bit of rapids right here, so I'm gonna head downstream, find a spot, test out some baits. I just took the thumbnail, it looks perfect. Look at this. It's pretty cool. Let's go. I found a log. Perfect spot, right here. Put the camera up here, face it down in the water, it gets a little deeper right there. Let's do this. Look at you guys. Let's tie on a bait. What we're going with first is the heaviest. You guys see that smallmouth just popped out of there? Hickory. We're doing hickory first. There's another smallmouth. Those could have been caught. Dang it! I know that there are differences in the woods that you use for crankbaits, but to what extent? It could be pretty crazy. There could be a big difference. I have, you know, anecdotal, occasional evidence of them being different from what I remember, but I've never compared them against each other in such a way. The hype is real. This one sinks. I can tell you that already. Ooh, and it casts. I'm gonna try to fix the way it runs before we really show it off, you know. That's more my fault if it doesn't run straight. Oh yeah, this sucks. Very comparable to the ironwood that we just used in the last video. It just doesn't want to run in any particular way. I can't get it to run straight whatsoever. I'm probably going to be throwing up what the specific gravity of each of these woods are, so you guys know what I'm dealing with here. This is a very dense wood, hickory, used for making like handles on tools and stuff, and it's a tough wood to work with too. It's all stringy and grainy. Not a good lure making wood. We're gonna go with the next least dense wood. Is that how you say that? I'll just show you. 1 sec. Maple. This is hard maple. This is not soft maple. This also is a very dense wood. I don't know if it'll sink or float. Yeah, it does, but it's a lot slower of a sink. The hickory sank like a rock. This one's like 2 inches, 3 inches a second. The hickory was like 8. Something crazy. I almost forgot to turn on the good camera. Okay, good camera's on. I hope it's actually getting good footage and it's not just like a blur of a wobble footage. This one is a little bit better. At a slow retrieve, I'm totally able to keep it stable. At a slow retrieve. Let's see. Yeah. That's not that bad. That's fishable. There's smallmouth over here. Watch, I'll catch one. See? Boom, what'd I tell you? Oh, that wasn't a smallmouth. That was a largemouth. Anyway, we're getting better. That's my theory, or that's my hypothesis, is that the more buoyant of wood we get to, the better the bait's gonna run. With all the years of my bait making experience, I better be correct on that, but We'll see just how correct I am. That's what this is all about, guys. This is just about seeing how correct I am. I think the next one is Poplar. Poplar. I think this will float. Place your bets in the comments now. Is this one gonna float? That's close though. This is a tiny bait. Poplar's still good. Oh, not yet. Testing baits for video. Oh, it doesn't float. I lose. You know, that's really comparable to maple. Let's see how this one runs. You know, it's not even as stable as maple. Maybe that's my fault. Let me check the angles and stuff. It's still, yeah, it's not very good. I think it has less action than the maple had. This is mind-blowing. Are your guys' minds blown? The maple bait that I made beats this one for sure when it comes to action and getting the action consistent. It might even have had more action, like a better wobble. I don't really recommend Poplar anymore. I have recommended Poplar as being a good lure making wood for so long and to so many people. I am so sorry, everybody. Next up, Mahogany. I'm interested to see how much better this does than the maple and the Poplar. It's a little bit lighter. It floats. Yeah, it's better. I can already tell. That's cool though, this floats. Mahogany is definitely a better wood than Poplar for making small crankbaits. Yeah, so much better. Wow, I can't believe I haven't been using Mahogany more. Much more of a consistent wobble. Because this stuff actually floats, so the back is actually pulling towards the top and the lip is pulling down. That stabilizes the bait and you get a consistent wobble. Like you can go a fast retrieve like that and it'll blow out still. It's not super stable. But this is probably the first one where I would just use it regularly, just fishing. I'd fish with that and catch fish. Pine. Now we're getting lighter. Does it float? Yes, it does. Better action. It's more stable. I can move this quicker. It still kind of wanders side to side from instability, but I'd fish with that. It's still good. Yeah, that's really good. Nothing wrong with that at all. Completely suitable crankbait for all situations. Consistent wobble, it floats. Pine. Suitable for crankbaits. So now we're getting into one of the more common woods used for making crankbaits. Cedarwood. People like using cedar because it's a wood that'll actually hold the hardware. Like if you're using screw eyes or twist wires, it'll actually grab and hold really well. But it's also extremely buoyant. One of the things about cedar is though it is not easy to carve. It's got those really thin but hard grain structures that just ruin your life if you're a wood carver. This should work really good though, this bait. And it's got a, yeah, it has a much more pronounced wobble. Sorry guys, I kind of splashed you there. That's a very, very good lure right there. That's why the pros usually use cedar. Got a good balance of everything. Strength, buoyancy. Those are the two things, strength and buoyancy. Good stuff, good bait. I'm probably going to catch all sorts of fish with this in my lifetime, unless I snag it here today. There's one more wood that is even better, in my opinion, when it comes to action than cedar. Get off, let go. Good Lord, nothing worse than a box full of treble hooks. Balsa, it's not a strong wood, don't get me wrong. You will at least want to be using a through wire lure that's made out of balsa. This balsa, I made this one that's not through wire. That has twist wires in it. We're gonna see how strong it is. But this bait might be so buoyant it actually affects the action in a negative way. I've had some experiences with balsa that's the way it was. It was so buoyant that it kind of like hindered the action. Yeah, I think this one's kind of doing that. It just doesn't have a super good action. The cedar's action was better than this one. I mean, this action, it's faster and tighter. Totally usable. This bait is. just not as good as cedar. That's kind of surprising. I'll have to use cedar more. It's official. I like cedar a lot now. I mean, I like balsa still too. That's a good action still. It's just cedar's was wider. I'm gonna use this balsa wood lure for a while and try to catch a fish. The testing's over. Everything that we tested is completely official now, and there's no other things to say about it, so let's go fish. So I just went back to the car and put my good camera away and stuff and took care of some things, but I just had a brilliant idea on the way back. Try to catch a fish on each kind of wood. Starting with balsa, let's do it. We gotta catch at least 7 fish today. Balsa and cedar should be pretty easy. There's a black walnut husk right there. It's making all of that really dark color in the water. It's actually a poison. That or somebody took a dump right there. Ooh, I just saw a fish. Following my balsa wood bait. Come on, hit that. Hit that. Stupid fish. Am I gonna have a hard day of fishing? Oh, yeah. Creek fishing. Need to be stealthy. Look at this one. Look at that carp. He's coming over to say hi. Man, how did I have that bass on before? I can't get them to react to anything enough to actually bite. I'm thoroughly surprised that I have not gotten a fish with this bait yet. It's been a half an hour of casting in very, very good spots on a creek that's usually very, very good. I could see myself headed to a pond today. Oh, I just had God, they keep doing that. Follow and stop. So exciting when they rush up to your bait, but when they just stop, it's so disappointing. Because all summer that meant you're gonna get slammed into. And the leaves, every single cast, ruining the action of your bait. Brutal. Well, I can't get to the deeper holes where I think the walleye are. The river's too high. The creek's really shallow, but this is how high the river is. And it gets really deep over there. I can't get down there. You guys almost got shot by that bait. Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. See you guys at a pond. Yes, the fishing is hard today. Let's see if a super quality pond will help us out with that. The fishing everywhere is bad. That's what everybody is saying around here, but I'm not going to stop. Still have the balsa bait tied on. Let's get something. Something. We got something. Woo! It's official. Bass like balsa wood baits. We knew that. Be free. Okay, we can switch the bait. We're gonna go right up the line. I'm switching to cedar. That's the next densest bait. We're gonna do this. We're gonna catch a fish on all 7 woods. It's gonna be a good day. Just gonna send it. You guys know what that's from, right? This bait's so nice. Yeah, this one's my favorite for sure. Another one. Oh shoot. Having this problem again. I need to not set the hook. That was the advice that you all gave me. I don't know if it was the previous video or the one before that, but when you're fishing with crankbaits, you just let them hit and then kind of don't set the hook. That's what you do. Just kind of like do this. I'm gonna do that next hit. We'll see if you're all right. Okay, I barely set the hook on that. Maybe that's not a good thing. I'm gonna take it really easy. Come on, this is the cedar. And then on the bank. Woo! Cedar is done. That took a while. That took like 15 minutes. But it's official. Bass like cedar. Freedom. Oh, there you go. The next one's pine. Do bass like pine? We shall find out. Man, we're gonna start getting into the baits that don't work very well. It's gonna be impossible to catch a fish. I'm starting to think twice about the challenge I created for myself. There's something. Keep them down. This is on the cedar. Or no, this is on the pine. Onto the bank. We're almost halfway there. And it's official, bass like pine. Nice. Mahogany is next. After Mahogany's Poplar though. Ugh. The Poplar one did not work well. This one still floats, I think. Did it? We'll see. I should stop talking. Yeah, Mahogany still floats. Oh, shoot. Need to watch that every once in a while. Forget this is a two-piece. You guys are watching a pro. Where were we? Oh yeah, catching giant fish. Whoa. I just saw a striper. Look at those fish out there. Whoa. Something just moved like a ridiculous amount of water out there. There we go. Mahogany. I got something. Stop. There we go. On the bank. We did it. We are over halfway done. Bass like Mahogany. All right, I'm feeling better. We have 3 more baits to catch 3 more fish on. If I can get one on the Poplar, that'll be a giant confidence boost. Wow, that casts like a bullet. Oh, we just got one. Okay, stay on, it's tiny. I think I can just drag it on the surface like this. Nice, this is the Poplar, the worst one. It deserves the smallest fish. Bass, tiny bass, like Poplar. Oh, sorry. Sorry, buddy. Let's get you back. There. Let's get this Poplar lure off of my pole. Maple is next. This one wasn't bad. Definitely wasn't good, but wasn't too bad. I like how far I can cast these heavy ones. This one actually has a lot of thump. There we go. There we go. Let's get this fish in, then we got one more. Nice. I'm getting way too excited about all this. And it's official. Bass like Maple. He even put some scratches on my bait. He liked it so much. Last one, Hickory. This one will cast the best. It's gonna go far. Watch this. I'm sure that's really impressive on the GoPro. Not a very stable bait. Very heavy wood. I gotta cast it far in deep spots and keep my rod tip down for it to stay stable. I didn't realize how bad the Hickory was. But if I go too far down, I run into the weeds. Then it really doesn't work. Oh man. We'll get a fish, don't worry guys. You know what? This bait's action is so bad that I'm gonna do what I did before and I'm gonna make it a top water. I'm gonna put the rear treble hook on the line tie and I'm going to tie the line tie to the rear treble hook hanger. I'm going to marlify this bait. It's the official term now. Marlify. Marlified. Some sweet topwater action now. That's better. It works good. Let's go to the shallows. Oh, got him. You guys see that? Hickory. It's official. Bass like Hickory, and the challenge is complete. Doesn't that feel good? That's awesome. And the marlification worked for this bait. It makes the tail grab some water in the back and want to do this. And then you're pulling on the line. So it just kind of gives it an S action on the surface is the best way to. So we found out officially what woods are the best for making lures. And we caught a fish on every single one of the woods. I'm not even gonna go in the house and get Chip because Chelsea texted me and said Finn's sleeping, so that's a small house and I have to be quiet when I go in if Finn's sleeping, so no Chip video today, I'm sorry. I'm sure you all understand. Sleeping baby. Balsa, it worked good, but not as good as the cedar, and the cedar is tied to my pole. And my pole is somewhere. But both balsa and cedar worked good. I think cedar worked better. Pine worked fine. Mahogany surprised me. It worked better than I thought. I thought we would be getting into the territory where it gets too heavy and it's too much mass for the lip to move around, and it's not enough differential in forces where the top wants to float and the bottom wants to sink. I thought we would have reached that with mahogany, but we haven't. Mahogany is still good. It's still buoyant enough to make a crankbait that works. That's this size, which that's pretty buoyant. Poplar. Poplar sucks. Maple is better than poplar for some reason, even though it's more dense. Maybe it's the way I made the bait. It has to be. Maybe there's got to be some inconsistencies. That, or I just got a wonky piece of poplar. I don't see any inconsistencies, but... And then hickory. Nothing against hickory, it's just... It's not a good bait making wood. It's getting up there with ironwood. It's really dense. We had to marlify this bait, make it a topwater for us to catch a fish on it. But it worked, and we did it. Caught a fish on every single one of those. Now you know all about wood and lure making. Video's over. On to the next bait. I need to say that better. On to the next bait. Is that too aggressive? On to the next bait. I'm gonna stop.